Listen, the old model of passive, push-button affiliate marketing, it's dead, totally dead. Today, we're unpacking a massive paradigm shift in how we approach AI, marketing, and digital real estate. If you're ready to finally stop hunting for lazy shortcuts and start mastering AI to build a real, sustainable digital business, you are in exactly the right place. Welcome to This Explainer. I want to anchor our entire breakdown today with an incredibly powerful quote. You can't sell me a dream because I can go to sleep and get those for free. I mean, wow, right? In the online business space, people are constantly trying to sell you these wild fantasies that simply cannot be guaranteed. Well, we are throwing all of that out. Today is strictly about reality over fantasy. We aren't selling dreams here, we are building actual assets. So here's our game plan for the shift. We'll start with prioritizing reality over fantasy, decode the massive shift to a creator paradigm, explore how AI actually empowers the human director, look at how to sell real transformations, and then wrap it all up with the ultimate movie studio mindset. All right, part one, reality over fantasy. It is officially time to stop chasing shiny objects. Look, the industry is basically split into two camps. First, you have the chasers. You know the type. They're always hunting for done-for-you systems, push-button solutions, and that mythical AI magic where they literally don't have to lift a finger. But guess what? The second an algorithm changes, poof, they vanish. Then you have the builders. These are the folks actually investing in their own skills, designing custom workflows, and building real systems. And when the dust settles, only the builders survive. It's always skill over shiny objects.
Think about it like basketball. Millions of kids hit the court every day hoping to make the NBA, but the reality is, there literally aren't enough slots on the court even if every single one of them played like Michael Jordan. Selling that dream, it's a fantasy guarantee. But what if you change the game? What if, instead of fighting for an impossible spot on the court, you just design the shoes instead? You carve out your very own lane where you can guarantee a specific function or a feeling of pride for your exact target audience. You actually control the outcome.
Moving on to section 2, the creator paradigm shift. Going from just an affiliate to a real business owner. See, you can no longer just be a middleman pasting links on the internet. To win in this new economy, you have to become the director, the producer, the writer, and the marketer. You are a full-stack AI content and UGC creator, which really means you're a business owner. And user-generated content, UGC, that is the massive new opportunity here. Because tools like AI avatars now allow you to promote literally any product in any niche, from skincare to software, without ever filming yourself, hiring expensive actors, or renting out a studio. But to wield that kind of power, you've got to embrace all of these creative roles. And how exactly do you embrace those roles? You build. Real hustlers build assets. Instead of just endlessly scrolling and consuming everyone else's content, they are actively creating tangible digital real estate. We're talking custom workflows, prompts, lead magnets, videos, unique AI characters, entirely new communities. This is exactly how you transition from being totally invisible online to becoming an undeniable force. You have to build things that hold lasting value. Next up, section 3, AI and the human director. The golden rule here is that AI removes repetition. It does not replace thinking. This concept completely reframes how we should value our tech. Like 99% of AI tools limit you with these monthly credits, right? And having unlimited credits might just sound like a nice little software perk. But actually, it's about unlimited creativity. Because when you aren't penalized for a bad generation, you have the ultimate freedom to experiment, to iterate, and to really perfect your storytelling. You can try 5 completely different versions of a hook just to see what hits the hardest. That freedom is a massive operational advantage. Honestly, unlimited creativity always beats unlimited credits. So here's how you actually apply that unlimited creativity in a real UGC workflow. First, you lock in a consistent character image. Next, you generate some short, snappy, lip-sync dialogue clips. From there, you jump into a timeline editor to arrange them, and finally, layer in some B-roll and narration for that extra impact. The goal here isn't to just click a button and generate one massive, flawless video, no way. The goal is to act as the human director, stitching simple, believable elements together into a highly effective ad. You learn prompting, you learn directing, you learn storytelling. Which brings us to part 4, selling real transformations. Because let's be real, people buy results, they don't buy tools. Let's think about an imaginary skincare product. We'll call it LumaGlow. When an AI influencer promotes this, what are they actually selling? They're selling glowing skin. That is a tangible, physical result that the product is formulated to guarantee. People are buying the confidence, the visibility, maybe an easier morning routine. Now, compare that to your standard digital product that promises you'll magically make $10,000 from your couch this weekend. Those vague wealth promises almost never materialize. Selling a real transformation, whether that's glowing skin or saving someone 10 hours a week, that is reality-based marketing. And this is where we have to draw a hard line between fake guarantees and real ones. Fake guarantees promise instant wealth or push-button success. You know, the dreams you can get for free in your sleep. Real guarantees, they're grounded. It's saying, I guarantee this tool creates videos, or I guarantee this workflow saves time, or I guarantee you'll learn a real skill. By promoting only what you can actually guarantee, your marketing instantly becomes infinitely more trustworthy and respected. All right, final section, part 5, the movie studio mindset, creating a community exclusively for builders. If you're really going to embrace this new creator paradigm, you need an ecosystem that actually sustains it. And that requires a distinctly exclusive environment, like the Hustleverse Movie Studio Group. The barrier to entry here isn't just a fee, it's a real commitment. You have to create, experiment, build, learn, and above all, you have to show up. There is absolutely zero room for passive consumers or vanity metrics here. If you aren't doing the work in building real assets, you just don't belong in the room. And you know what? That strict exclusivity is exactly what protects the high value of the community. It is a space entirely reserved for builders. So as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with one final question that you really need to answer for yourself. Are you going to remain a passive consumer, forever chasing some push-button miracle that doesn't exist? Or are you ready to put in the work, master these tools, and become the director of your own digital movie studio? This paradigm shift is happening right now. The choice is completely yours. Get out there and start building.
They keep telling you, stay motivated. Watch this. Listen to that. Get inspired. But what happens when the video ends? When the music fades? When nobody's clapping, watching, or waiting for you to win? What moves you then? I used to run on borrowed energy, quotes, speeches, people hyping me, yeah. Felt unstoppable for a moment, then I'd crash, like it was never in me. That's the problem with external fuel. It burn quick, don't last, don't rule. You dependent on a source outside, so when it disappears, so do you. I was chasing feelings, not building fire, waiting to feel ready instead of climbing higher. But readiness ain't a mood you catch, it's a discipline you wire. So I had to ask myself something different. If nobody ever told me keep going, would I answer that honestly? I realize purpose don't scream, it whispers. It ain't in the crowd, it's found in the mirror. It ain't in applause or validation checks. It's in what you do when there's nothing to flex. Yeah. Motivation temporary, purpose permanent. One phase away, the other's inherent. You don't wake up feeling it every day, but purpose don't care how you feel anyway. It moves through you even when you're tired, even when life feel misaligned and wired. It's that quiet push you can't explain. I say do it again through the doubt and pain. So I stopped asking how do I feel and started asking what's real, what's mine to build, what's mine to create. That's when I found something stronger than fate. I don't need a reason, I am the reason. I am the reason. I don't need the feeling, I don't need the feeling. I move with meaning. No more waiting, no more waiting, no more chasing, no more chasing. Internal driver, that's what's leading. Yeah. Now I move like it's already decided. No hesitation, no need to be guided. I built a system inside of my soul that don't break down when I'm losing control. External noise don't shake my direction. I learned to operate without the connection. Not disconnected but self-sustained. Energy internal, never drained. I don't need hype, I don't need cheers. I done built this through blood, sweat, tears. Every rep carved into my frame. Now discipline calling me by name. This is what it looked like when purpose drive. You ain't just working, you feel alive. Even in struggle there's something deeper. You not just moving, you moving with meaning. Listen close. Purpose don't shout, it pulls. It don't beg, it demands. And once you feel it, you can't go back. There's gonna be days you don't feel like it. Do it anyway. There's gonna be days you question everything. Keep going anyway. Because the ones who make it ain't the most motivated. They the most committed to something deeper than motivation. That's what's leading. When the world go quiet, when the noise disappear, when nobody's watching, that's when you find out if you really got it, or if you was just borrowing it.
Be prepared. This is what will happen when you decide to get serious.
I give you food for action, don't choke on the truth. This lesson I prepared was made just for you. Feast up, I'll keep serving till the pot run dry. Got enough cooking to feed the whole country, no lie. Too many flavors, you know, I got what you like. Don't start beefing with me, you won't win this fight. If you come in peace, keep your teeth intact. I got a plan to get this cake, come grab a stack. Life could be sweet, if you listen you'll see. Food for action on a platter, served fresh by me. I'm serving knowledge on plates, got the recipe down. A blend of hustle and wisdom, that's my sound. I'm feeding the masses, no crumbs, full course. But if you bring nothing to the table, find the door. Stop acting like you got beef, it won't taste right. This flavor's reserved for those ready.
Okay, family, we are live. We are live. And once again, I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of the Hustlers 10-Minute a Day Challenge. Today is Strong 56, day 2, and we are right at 15 minutes into today's challenge. So let's start by peeling the curtain back, as usual, to expose the most valuable document in all of online marketing. Now, this document right here, I often tell you guys that this document has served me well for over the last year. And I want to let you know that this document, it has a couple companions. It has a couple companions to go along with it. I've been creating. I've been putting in work. I tell people all the time, when you don't see me, just know I'm somewhere working. And if you think that I'm sleeping, more than likely I'm dreaming about more work that I want to create. And then once when I'm done dreaming, I wake up and I take action on those dreams. So it never stops. It never stops because time stops. Time will at one point come to a stop for an individual. Now, time as an overall, concept and an overall thing may never come to an end, but we don't know what happens once when our individual time is over. And it makes me think about my intro. That intro music video specifically, I was just listening to it as as I always do during the intro. And I've heard that song over and over and over again. And it's one of my favorite songs, period. And I say to myself, and I was saying to myself this morning as I was listening to it, I said, if I never created another song, this right here is, I don't know why I thought about Michael Jackson, but I said to myself, this is my Thriller. This is one of those ones that I can fall back on and I can say that this is one of my greatest hits. Now, I'm going to be a little petty just for a second. I'm going to say that that song right there, Internal Driver, is in the top 0.001% of greatest songs ever created. That's my personal opinion. I don't just mean AI generated, because 99.999% of the AI music that I've heard, you know, in my personal opinion, has been kind of trash. Hey, my personal opinion. And then when I look at my personal creations, of course I got a specific bias. I think I create some of the greatest music ever created, and that's because it comes from a place where it's it's created and it's influenced and inspired by my personal journey. It's inspired by my teaching, my coaching. It's inspired by things that I've been through. It's inspired by me, a person, a human with a real soul. And I transferred a lot of my energy into the AI, because the AI itself doesn't have a soul. It has a brain, right? But that brain isn't really attached to a soul. And that's what the human connection has to be able to provide. And when I hear a lot of music, AI generated, and even, some music created by real artists, I don't really hear the soul in a lot of music. So it's been my journey and my desire and, you know, my goal to provide you with something in every form that I can provide it to you in, whether it's written, whether it's a video like this, whether it's the music. It's been my mission to provide you with something with a soul, something that you can actually feel, something that within your personal spirit, you'll say, you know, I understand. I see where he's going. I can understand where he's trying to help me go, and I'm coming along for the journey. Now, I'm gonna tell you this: everybody, every human doesn't have a soul, so to speak. Yeah, people have spirits, they got, you know, things that give them life, the soul, the spirit, whichever one you want to call it. But where I'm from, they call it soul. And everybody doesn't have a soul, so to speak. Everybody can't make you feel something because they're not really alive inside, and they provide you with that energy that's not really alive. You know, that energy that's a little glitchy, that energy that just mm, that just makes you feel like you're just existing. But we don't do that here inside the Hustleverse. We provide you with something that you can take away with you, something of value, something that, if used properly, it can help you create a better version of your life for yourself. Now, people might watch the lives and look at the lives on a daily basis and they still might not understand. And those people might be the people without souls. Because if you can't identify and recognize value when you see value, then that means that you'll never be able to identify real value when you come across it. You actually might start associating value with the wrong things. And then once when you start associating them with the wrong things, you'll continuously go back to that same thing, expecting it to give you something that only something with a soul can give you. Most people are chasing a dream, as stated in that beginning training. They're chasing a dream that's being sold to them by someone who cannot guarantee that dream will come true. We don't do that here. We provide you with a reality check. And the reality of it is that you're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to invest in yourself, whether it's time, energy, and or money. Let's make that clear. And if you're not willing to make the investment, then you don't deserve the reward, right? So let me pull up one of my favorite tools, as I always do, right? And that's the new tab section. And I was letting this scroll through this morning and I'm looking at the different stories. I didn't see the whole timeline, so some of the things, I'm seeing along with you. So let's check out this first one that's showing it. I didn't see this specific one, but it says Microsoft is spending 2.5 billion on deploying AI engineers to its customers. AI engineers to its customers. So 2.5 billion. The name of the game has changed. And the name of the game has been changing for the longest time. There's not a MIL next to this 2.5. It's a BN. Companies are not playing small any longer when it comes to AI. The companies that have the money, the companies that see the vision, the companies that know that this is where things are headed and this is where they need to be, they are willing to make the big investments. So, my thing is something that I was always taught and that I learned a long time ago is success leaves clues. That's the simplest way of putting it. Now, most people, they don't recognize the clues that success is leaving them. And they never see the clues. They ignore the clues. They sometimes they're blind to the clues. And other times they know that that's the actual clue, but they refuse to pick up on it. They refuse to take action on it. This right here clearly says that one of the top companies in the world, a company that's brought you so many moments of, you know, so many moments of clarity, so many moments of enjoyment, so many various types of moments from products and services that you consume on a daily basis, products and services that you might not even know that they have a part in, or you don't really appreciate what this particular company and companies like it have provided to you. This company, along with others, are making the investments. And you yourself, you might be the type of person that says, hey, I'm not willing to make an investment. Or you might have somewhat of an ego or feel as though you don't have to make an investment, that everything has to be given to you for free. Now, I started a private group, right? I started a new private group, and I'm only allowing people that really want to put in that work to join that private group. And once again, I said it in yesterday's live. If I approve you to join the group, I expect you to take action. I expect you to show up. I don't expect you to just be a seat filler. And if I notice that you're just being a seat filler and you're not taking action, then I will remove you from the group. That's just simple and plain. And that's how it has to be. That's how it has to be in life. That's how it has to be in the real world. And that's how it is. There's major companies that are only major companies, and they only stick around and grow because they're willing to do the things that other companies aren't willing to do, like make big investments, not MIL investments, but BN investments. And most of you don't even want to make a one figure investment, let alone a 10 figure, right? A 10 figure investment. Some companies are making even bigger investments. Now, this right here says 2.5 billion on deploying AI engineers to its customers. It doesn't mean that that's the end of the investment. That's just on deploying the AI engineers. After that, there's still more work to be done. So are you willing to be one of those type of people who say that they want to build something big, they want to build something worthy, they want to get the results that come from doing the work, like companies like Microsoft do, right? You want the results, so you have to be willing to make the investments, right? So let's see what's the next story. Okay, so we have AI giants are handing out tons of free computing power to grab startup share. Hmm. So that's another form of investment. See, the thing about it that I look at in life is you're going to have to pay one way or another, and you're not going to get out of this life for free. So it makes me think about yesterday when I was starting to promote the new private group, and on my new page, I sent out a couple of invites, and I got a couple of responses from some good people, and one response in particular said, well, yes, I want to join, but I hope no one is going to ask for me to have to buy anything. And I said in response that no, you can actually learn for free. You can learn for free. But that's kind of like this right here. AI giants are handing out tons of free computing power to grab startup share. Now, what I give to you for free and what companies like AI giants, they're giving to startups for free, they're giving out free stuff. It costs them money in order to do that. So free is not free. Somebody has to pay for it on one end of the spectrum or another. And the fact that some people feel as though they're supposed to get everything for free is, you know, it's common. It's human nature to an extent, but it's something that you have to break out of the habit of. Now, you can pay in multiple ways, you know. They're actually the AI giants. They're paying. They're paying to grab startup share. So they're making an investment. They're giving away something for free that, of course, they had to pay for. So, kind of like the other story, the Microsoft, it clearly states how much they were investing, the 2.5 billion, right? But this right here, it doesn't have a number attached to it. It doesn't say what these AI giants are investing in order to give away something free. Now, most people, they have the mindset of, okay, just give it to me for free. Okay, why can't you just give it to me for free? And they think, I think honestly, people believe that if you give them something for free, that means that you got it for free and that you didn't have to pay for it. Or some people have the idea that something that I heard years ago when I had my first business, my own commercial cleaning franchise. And I never forget it because, certain things stick in my mind that, I think about, and I think about the mentality of people, and it can come from anywhere. It could come from friends, family, it could come from strangers or whatever. People who are in the position that you are, they won't, they won't respect what you're doing. Kind of like that intro video, right? When I said, or my AI twin said, when you decide to basically become a better version of yourself, this is what's going to happen. So some people are going to just flat out laugh at you. They're going to laugh and they're going to think what you're doing is so funny. And that's going to be for, various reasons. People laugh at other people for whatever reason. Maybe because they don't have the balls themselves to, you know, do what you're doing. And instead of them laughing at themselves or kicking themselves in the gear, they want to laugh at you to try to make you feel like you're doing something wrong. But over 20 years ago, when I had my first business, I bought a commercial cleaning franchise. A situation happened where I had an employee who was a family member, and they did something that I told them not to do. So clearly, it wasn't my fault. I told them not to do something, and they did it anyway. I told my cousin, who I hired to do the job, meaning I paid him as an employee to do the job. I told him not to use bleach, simply not to use bleach in this particular building because this building, it had a lot of carpets and things like that. And I told him don't put bleach in the buckets. Use the other cleaning products that I have because it's safer and it's not going to cause any issues that, later on, you know, issues come back. But for whatever reason, he decided that he wasn't going to listen. He said he ran out of cleaning chemicals, but if you ran out, then you have to, replenish those cleaning chemicals. Or if you decide that you're going to replace them yourself, then still listen to the instructions. Do not use bleach. Well, one day, by chance, he's in that building and he put bleach in a bucket. And he happens to be walking over a certain section of the building where a lot of the building is just regular floor. But this particular section was carpet. And somehow the handle on the bucket broke or whatever, and he spilled bleach on the carpet. Now, after he spilled the bleach on the carpet, what happened? Well, it bleached the carpet. And in turn, I end up getting a call the next day from the business owner. I got a call from the business owner telling me that, hey, my carpet is ruined. It looks like it's been bleached. So I went there, looked at the situation, and I see clearly, hey, their carpet is damaged. Now, me as the business owner, of course, it's my responsibility. They don't care about who's the employee, who actually did the job, who caused the problem. They're looking at me as being the responsible party. So I said, of course, as the business owner, I have to take responsibility. I'm licensed, I'm bonded, I'm insured. That's what insurance is for. But me personally, I still feel some kind of way about it because I'm like, hey, I entrusted an employee to follow the instructions. So I mentioned it, I brought it up to the employee, told them about the situation. And like I said, it was a family member, a cousin. They told me their reason. I can't remember what was the reason. They ran out of chemicals, but they still decided to use bleach anyway. And then, you know, that caused little issues within the family. He ended up, his mom found out about it and stuff like that. So I'm like, cool. I explained the situation to her, like, this is what happened. And this is what got me. Her response was, well, you're the business owner. You should be responsible for that. And it kind of threw me because the way it was stated, it was put to me in a way that the person that actually caused the problem was alleviated of all responsibility. It was stated to me that, hey, you're just, well, how it sounded to me at the time was, you're just the business owner. You should be responsible for this. You have to, it's on you, not the person that caused the problem. And that right there gave me a different perspective of how people look at business owners. And it gave me a more of a respect for business owners. And that was over 20 years ago, probably closer to 22 years ago or so. And I said, even, you know, friends, family, neighbors, strangers, you know, that doesn't, that type of sentiment is not lost on anyone. Anybody can treat you like that. Anybody can look at you like that once when you decide that you're not a individual anymore, that you're not going to play the traditional role. You're not going to be the employee. You're not just going to follow um, and be somebody that's dependent on a job. You're going to actually be the job provider. You're going to be the big name. You're going to be the giant, so to speak. And when you decide that you're going to step into that role, there's going to be people that look at you differently. They're going to treat you differently. They're going to have a different level of respect for you. And you're going to have to accept that. So that situation right there, that was a costly situation. It was not really that costly, but to me, it was. Good thing about it was with that particular company, the carpeting, it was in different panels. So it was already, sections that could actually be pulled up, cut out, and replaced. But the one particular section that was bleached, that still cost me $500. So I still was responsible for $500 to replace that piece of carpet in that business. But it never had to even happen, right? But I still had to be responsible for it. So I have a different level of respect. And that's only because, I probably had to go through it myself in order to get there. And the problem that you're going to face in your online business when you decide that you're going to be a real boss, not somebody that just looks at something as a side hustle. I know we say hustle all the time, but when I talk about hustle, where I'm from, we hustle for life. That's not a side type of thing. That's not something that you do and you just stop one day. You know, people that I know of, like I think about, for example, man, one of my uncles, for example, he's a lifetime hustler, not illegal. He doesn't do anything illegal, but he's always, from when I was a kid, he's always put in work. Now, I would say some things that, might not have been 100% legal. He could have got in trouble with some things, but not crazy kind of stuff, right? Yeah, he made a way. He worked his job, but then he had his side jobs that he was able to make up for things that his main job wasn't able to get him. And I think still to this day, he's able to do what it is that he need to get done in order to get what he needs done, right? That's a lifelong thing. But, depending on what route you decide to take, you can turn a hustle into a lifelong thing, and you can create leverage systems that allow that opportunity to continue on. But these stories, as we see them, yeah, the USA, they're out of the World Cup, right? USA lost, so they're gone out of the World Cup. These things that we have to experience and the things that help shape what we're doing is something that everybody's going to have to go through, and they're going to have to learn how to deal with the good, the bad, and the ugly of every situation. Now, this right here was something, this particular article was something that I had to pull up because I found the title and the hook to be, one of those things that I felt like was strategically put there for the hustleverse because it relates to what we're doing here, and it shows the value of what we're doing, and it shows the flip side of how once when you decide to put yourself in a certain situation, there's going to be the good, the bad, the ugly. So it says here, AI actor Tilly Norwood lands first feature film amid Hollywood fury. That's a lot right there. That's a lot to grasp. Now, first off, AI actor. We never thought we would be hearing that, right? An AI actor. Now, I've heard of Tilly Norwood. I haven't seen any of the content really, except for on news reports. The news reports will talk about something, and they shed light on certain situations. And the news reports talked about this particular AI actor, which, just like in any industry, any niche, there's always going to be a standout. That's why I always advise you guys to, not just be a part of an opportunity, not just get involved, be one of the one and the million other people that's in something, but strive to be the best. Strive to be that standout person. Don't listen to when somebody tells you, "Hey, just do this. Just pay attention to this. Do what I'm telling everybody else to do. Just be basic, just be average." Don't do that. Listen, watch, learn, see what the average people are doing, and then decide that, hey, I can do the basics, but I can do more. I can be more. I can dominate in this area by being a better version of that average generic person. When you see people online and you see that just doing one simple thing or whatever, cool, cool. Let them do them. But it's on you to carve out your own particular lane. So this right here, this AI actor or actress, you know, it's a female AI avatar, lands the first feature film amid Hollywood fury. So there's a fury behind this because once again, when there's a standout in a certain situation and it's designed to kind of, you know, show off and kind of replace the need for other people, then people are going to get upset. So the Hollywood fury. I know a lot of actors and actresses, they're upset with the way that AI is going, not because necessarily AI is bad, it's doing terrible things, it's you know, it's because in a lot of cases AI is doing things better than what actual humans are able to do. And they're doing it cheaper. Now this Tilly Norwood, we know that a real person created this AI character. So the real person behind the character, I'm pretty sure they're getting paid. They're getting paid for this feature film that they're lending their client to. Let's call Tilly Norwood client of a human, kind of like me, kind of like you. The great thing about it is we have our own ability within the Hustleverse to create our own Tilly Norwoods, male, female, even animals. You can create your own animal that could be featured in the next film, but it's on you to bring your creativity. You might say, hey, there's Tilly Norwood, a human. There's people that's taking advantage of, human AI avatars, and you got Hollywood furious about it because it's taking over and replacing humans. So you might say, hey, I want to be the person. I don't want to replace humans, but you know, I don't see any dogs and cats out there that's, really protesting and saying anything about AI. So why don't I create a AI cat or dog? Put those in a feature film next to a human, right? Is that a healthy compromise? You might be the person to bring that and be able to create the next, you know, viral animal. Or you might combine a cat and a dog or whatever other animal and create your own personal, you know, something different. That might be a little bit more acceptable to Hollywood because it's not replacing a human, right? But let's look at this particular article. I didn't look at it, and I'm glad that it has a key takeaway section here because this right here is very interesting because this sets the tone for more to come. If one is getting it done, then I know there's another that's going to be following, and it can be more unless they decide that, hey, we're going to completely block out people. But they can't do that. They might be able to block them out of Hollywood, right? But for places like, for example, the Hustleverse, inside the Hustleverse movie studio mindset, the private group, what if you created your own, star, and you shared that with the community and you helped build that community and you brought people to the table that want to learn about AI, and that became our Hollywood or AI Hollywood, then you can become a star amongst our personal community, which would have nothing to do with Hollywood and stuff like that, right? So that's how you got to start thinking about it. But some people, most people, they don't think about community. They don't think about how to build something. They think about, okay, AI. Oh, it's making a lot of people mad in Hollywood, so it has to be bad. There's no other way to do it. But let's get into the key takeaways. So it says first feature film, Tilly Norwood, a fully virtual AI actor created by Particle 6, will star in Misaligned, a comedy drama exploring her AI nature and human like experiences. So when we talk about creators of AI, once again, I just mentioned, hey, you're a AI creator, possibly. You create with AI on a daily basis, and you just create as a regular individual. But then there's some people that say, hey, I don't want to create like a regular individual. I want to step my game up. I want to create my own business around it and company. And as I said, this actor created by Particle 6. Now, I don't think that's an individual's name. I don't think there's a human that's named Particle 6. Sounds like a company to me. Sounds like somebody said, hey, I'm going to take this to a whole nother level. I'm going to create a company, and that company is going to be responsible for this AI character. That's when you go from average to extraordinary. Now you have a company that represents this AI character. And we just went over how things change once when you decide to become a business. Once when you decide to step up your game and you decide that you're not going to be an individual anymore and that you're going to be a business owner or a business, so to speak, that's when things start to change. So this is going to be a comedy drama exploring her AI nature and human like experiences. So it's getting some attention. So look at this controversy and backlash. The AI actor sparked Hollywood outrage with actors like Melissa Barrera criticizing the move as unethical for professional representation. Well, she is entitled to her opinion. Like I said, everybody's going to have their different opinion. Now, me personally, I don't feel any type of way about this. Only thing I feel about this is, damn, I wish I was able to have been the first to get it. I hope maybe I'll be one of the next to actually be able to do it or something in some capacity. I'm not hating on it, but there are people that will look at it and say, hey, it's this, is that, it's something else. And to say that it's unethical for professional representation, that's everybody's going to put something on something. There's always going to be a new product, a new service. You might create something, a product or service that people will say, hey, I don't like that. You might create the next best bread slicer, and somebody will say, man, that's unethical. And you know what? They might actually represent the knife cutting industry, the knife industry. So you might be creating a product that eliminates the need for a regular knife. And of course, there's companies that make professional grade knives and things like that, but they don't make the type of product that you make to cut the bread without having to make multiple chops, right? So it might be people that represent knife companies that say, hey, this is unethical. And it's only because it's taken from their bottom line, is making them more obsolete. The personal bread baking machine, I'm pretty sure that back in the day when people were using different basic utensils to bake bread, they thought that that was the end all be all. And still people say today that, the old fashioned way of making bread is the best way. The bread came out so much better. Now, in cases like that, if it actually came out that much better, cool. But if it didn't come out that much better, if it comes out better now with the new technology that we have, and you have people now saying, that's unethical to have a machine in your house that kneads the dough, and you know, you're supposed to knead the dough with your own hands. You can only get that real bread, that real bread feel and that real bread taste from dough that's been kneaded by hand. There's some people that feel like that, and they think that a machine kneading bread is is unethical for professional representation. Now, of course, when people use machines, they go overboard. That's when things become mass produced, and then, okay, things is mass produced, and then they want to add other things that the more natural baker that did everything by hand wouldn't have added, artificial flavors and all this kind of stuff, right? So, things start to progress, and it goes with another saying: if you give a person an inch, they'll eventually take a mile. Things are a slippery slope. So I can understand. I can understand that. Now, I'm not sure if Melissa is actually looking at things that way, which she probably is. She might be. I think a lot of actors and actresses are looking at things that way. They're like, okay, you let one in, cool. There's hundreds of actors and actresses, right? You let one AI in, okay. Then they're looking at it like, okay, this might open up the floodgates for 10 more Tilly Norwoods. And if this movie does good, man, God forbid people actually show up to see it. God forbid, you know, this movie sells millions and millions, and then, studios or are looking at it like, hey, well, I didn't have to pay a Melissa Barrera $1 million to get this done. I didn't have to deal with cast not showing up. I didn't have to deal with cast, you know, not performing the lines right. I didn't have to, you know, also pay, editors, special effects artists, because now this AI character comes with a specific tool, right? It's created using a specific tool. I can imagine Tilly Norwood was generated using a specific tool, and more than likely, in order to generate her actions, they're going to use specific AI tools to get the movement perfect. So, what tool are they going to use to actually get her moving for this performance? That tool isn't going to cost $1 million, right? That tool is going to save these companies a lot of money. And what if the profit margins are so great that they say, hey, hmm, let's find another Tilly Norwood. And not only the profit margins end up being so great, but once again, it saves them on another investment: time. See, traditionally, creating movies required locations, setup. All of these people that had to go into might have to travel to certain locations, spend time in certain areas around the world, in certain countries to get the scenes right if you don't have a studio. Then it take weeks of rehearsals and editing and blah 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 and months. Imagine a movie like, Star Wars or something like that, and they're talking about it this year, and it's not coming out till 2 years later. And you think about all that time that you spend in making this, and then you find that you can create a movie with a Tilly Norwood and have it done in less than a month at 1% of the cost, and never having to leave your studio or your home. That's a slippery slope. That's a slippery slope that I know these actors and actresses do not want to experience. So let's look at this. Industry impact. Says Particle 6 aims to blend AI and traditional filmmaking. Okay, they want to blend it. So they're not saying, hey, we here AI and we here to take over. We still want you humans around. We want to blend it in for now, right? So they want to blend AI and traditional filmmaking, hiring directors, writers, and editors to showcase AI's creative potential while addressing themes of identity, performance, and human fears around AI. So that's good. That's good. I like that. But I hope you understand and you're seeing what this is actually saying. So it says here hiring directors, writers, and editors. So it doesn't say anything about other actors. They're not they at this point they don't need another actor. It's kind of like, what Jay-Z said. Hey, you say you made me, why not make another one? Make another Tilly Norwood. We don't need the actors and actresses. We just need the people that have the skills at what? Once again, what are these people skilled at? Directors, writers, and editors. Same thing that I've been telling you guys about for the longest. What this is saying, once again, and hopefully is getting clear to you guys, is that we are in a stage and an age where communication, communication is going to be the key to your success. See, what I'm doing here with you guys, going live on a daily basis, is that I'm communicating with you. Now, whether or not you show up or not, like I said, that's is important to me. But if you don't show up, there's billions of other people that can actually show up in your place. But what I'm actually doing is I'm harnessing and I'm crafting and I'm building my personal skills of communication. That's my goal because I know that's what's going to be valuable. And that's why the Hustlers 10 Minute a Day Challenge is so valuable. It might not be valuable to you, but it's valuable to me because it's helping me to do something that I know is needed. Now, if you look at episode 1 of the Hustlers 10 Minute a Day Challenge as compared to episode what? We're getting close to 300, right? We're over a year in. My flow is a lot better. The way I position myself is a lot better. Just like with any other content creator that you see online that makes content, that streams, that has millions and millions of viewers. I think by now I can hold a conversation with the best of them. I can do a presentation with the best of them at this point. I can talk for an hour about a specific topic or niche because I've conditioned myself to be able to do that. And I'm becoming a better communicator. So this right here is showing that even though AI is taking over in one particular aspect, a virtual AI actor, they're saying that we still need you, the communicators, the director. Of course, the director, first and foremost, be able to direct the scene, to communicate what's going on. Yeah, the writers, the writers, being able to communicate through written form, to be able to prompt the AI tool that's going to direct this character. So we see the information, we see the value, and this is what I challenge you guys to see in everything that you do. I don't want you to read an article and get so emotionally tied up in it that you don't see the real message, that you don't get the real value. I don't want you to look at it and say, oh, this AI is taking over and people in Hollywood are upset and, I don't know if I should use AI and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, understand what's being said in a way, but understand what's actually going on and how you can use that to your personal benefit. That's one of the biggest problems that I see people have. And that's why I want you guys to really consider joining the Hustleverse and partnering with me specifically, because my goal and the thing that I can do that I feel as though I can do better than anybody else is that I can help you obtain that specific mindset shift that's needed to actually help you unlock your success potential. So as we transition right now, I want to invite you guys, as I look at the time, I want to invite you guys to an upcoming training, because we know today is Tuesday, right? And let me refresh this page. So on Tuesdays, we call Tuesday Training Day Tuesday. So today at 2 p.m. EST time, and that's just about 3 hours and 52 minutes away, there's going to be a live training held by one of my business partners, Mr. Wayne Crow. And the name of this training is Watch How Even My Students are Succeeding with This Powerful AI Platform. So that's two-tiered, right? So he taught his own personal students how to do something, and then those students were able to teach others how to duplicate and how to implement the systems involved. So he's going to show you that. So it says on Tuesday at 7 p.m., that's UK time, but 2 p.m. EST time, we're pulling back the curtain and showing you exactly what's been happening, the AI platform behind it, and how it's helped total beginners get outcomes they didn't expect that this fast. So if you're looking to use AI in a specific way and you're looking to get specific results, then maybe you might want to be on this training. But once again, I want to give you guys something that nobody else is going to give you. I want to help you get a mindset switch, because this right here, this training, a very valuable training, it's no different than this article right here. It's no different than the article. Most people will show up for the training, like they'll show up and they'll read the article and they'll only hear what's being said. They'll only see what's being shown, but they won't understand the real value in the training. And what'll happen is they'll watch it and they won't know what to do still. The only action that they'll take is the simple action that they think they're supposed to take, right? But they'll never take the real action because they'll never really understand the true value of the training. Now, hopefully in today's live, I showed you how to identify real value and how to look deeper at the information that you're getting so that you can use it to your benefit. What does this article say to you? How did you interpret the key takeaways? Without reading the full article, can you get the value that you need personally from something by looking at the key takeaways? The article itself is icing, you know, it's just a little extra icing. It's there for flash and, for sensationalism. There's going to be some things in it that might trigger you emotionally because it's talking about people's feelings. It's talking about this, that, and the third. And you got to be aware of people's feelings also, right? But once when you move past the feelings, that's when you have to get into your logical state of thinking and how you can apply this to build a better online business for yourself. That's the difference between what you get here in the hustleverse as compared to anywhere else. And I'm not going to get petty. I feel myself about to get petty. I feel myself about to get petty and tell you, this is why I feel like I'm the best in the world at what I do. You might want to just listen to the rest. Go ahead, just listen to the rest, you know, give them all the credit, you know, show up for them, and then still show up for them the next day, the next week, week after week, month after month, and still get no closer to getting that mindset switch that you need in order to become successful or to get to your actual end result that you want. You know, so hey, some people are insane. Let's be honest. Some people are insane. We know the definition of insanity: doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. And that's because they never have a mindset switch, or they never actually learn how to look at things in a way to actually get a different result. And most people, they're never going to tell you how you should be looking at things. They're never going to drill into your mind exactly how to get off that hamster wheel, because everybody's goal isn't for you to be successful. Their goal is for them to be successful and for you to be the hamster on the wheel that keeps the wheel going. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. So with that, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's live. I hope you've gotten more value out of this live, this one live right here, than you've gotten out of a dozen of your favorite coaches or mentors, trainings. Hopefully I've given you something to get a little emotional about, to get a little upset about. I want you to be upset. In a way, I want you to get upset. I want you to be upset with yourself, first and foremost, for how you've allowed yourself to be put in a position to, stay on a hamster wheel because you wanted to play safe. You wanted to not invest in yourself the right way. You wanted to ignore the clues that success leaves, and you decided that you wanted to do what's comfortable for yourself, which is leading you to nowhere. I want you to be upset. And then after you go through that short period of being upset, I want you to start taking actions in the right direction. So if you're interested in joining me personally, partnering with me personally on this journey so that you can unlock your fullest potential and that hopefully you can get a lot closer to the success that you want, then I want you to comment hustle. And I'm going to tell you this: it's not free to work with me. So if you're expecting a free ride, I'm going to kick your ass right out of the passenger seat. Simple and plain. Because the value that I bring far exceeds most things that you will experience. Because the value that I bring is designed to help you actually achieve a goal. So with that, I hope you guys have enjoyed once again. We're going to close out like we always do. And I look forward to seeing you in today's upcoming live at 2 p.m. EST time. And you know how you can become part of that, right? You know how you can get access to that training. It's right here in the most valuable document in all of online marketing. Grab your mega link, click that link, grab your mega link, invest in yourself, and then start to take the actions needed. Start showing up. And with that, I hope you guys, once again, have a great rest of your day.
woke up to silence, dreams still heavy. Phone screen dry, but my vision stays steady. Mama said, baby, that job ain't your lane. But I clocked in anyway, chasing someone else's gain. That got me dancing with denial at night. Scrolling for hope, but it's hidden from sight. 10 minutes a day, sounded small at first. But in silence, even whispers can't quench a thirst. Notebook in hand, wrote my future in ink. Mapped out my mission before I started to sink. Every post was a prayer, every share had weight. I wasn't selling a link, I was shifting fate. I found my rhythm in the quietest place, where hustle meant healing and grind meant grace. From the corner of doubt, I carved my space. Legacy ain't loud, but it wins the race. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. People laugh, said she doing too much. Till my PayPal pinged and they changed up the touch. No big brand, no six-figure crew, just a mic, some lyrics, and a dream that grew. Tired of waiting for the gatekeeper's call, so I built my own stage, held my own hall. Suno on deck, that's the beat in my chest. GPT spitting like I'm born to impress. Said I'd never make it, cool, noted. But now my bars turn pain into coated. From broken to branded, I ain't asked for fame, I asked for freedom and I claim my name now. Hustle berry on loop like healing chants, for the girls who grew up with limited chance. This is more than a challenge, it's breaking the chain. Cause 10 minutes a day rewired my brain. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. Now my daughter sees me different, eyes full of fire. She said, Ma, your words lift me higher. This ain't a hustle, this a heart-led path, where math meets message and message meets math. Community over clicks, value over hype. I ain't here to trend, I'm here to type blueprints for the ones still stuck in fear. Let them borrow my belief till their purpose clear. Haters still quiet, but I'm loud with grace. Posting in peace, not a mask on my face. Every bar I drop, every beat I write, I'm freeing the ones with the pain they hide. 10 minutes ain't much, but it changed my name, turned struggle into strength